He looked completely ordinary, a tall, quiet chef living alone in East London. No one suspected a thing. But behind that door, 4 young men took their last breath. Stephen Port was born on 22 February 1975 in Southend-on-Sea, Essex, England. He grew up in Dagenham, East London, a loner from childhood, bullied in school, called Stretch by classmates because of his height. Teachers described him as quiet. Neighbors said he was childlike, a grown man who watched cartoons and played with toys. He trained as a chef. He lived alone in a small flat on Cook Street, Barking, East London. From the outside, nothing extraordinary. From the inside, a house of horrors. Port came out as gay in his mid-20s. He started using dating apps. Grindr, Sleepy Boy, FitLads. He maintained 18 different accounts across 12 separate platforms. He had a type: young men, skinny, vulnerable. He called them twinks. He was not looking for love. He was looking for control. He discovered GHB, gamma-hydroxybutyric acid, a colorless, odorless liquid. Known on the streets as liquid ecstasy, party drug, G in small doses, it lowers inhibitions. In large doses, it stops the heart. Port became obsessed with it. He began spiking men's drinks without consent, raping them while they were unconscious. For 2 years, he did this repeatedly. Nobody caught him. Nobody stopped him. Then his crimes escalated from rape to murder. 19 June 2014. Early morning. 4:18 a.m. Emergency services received an anonymous call in Barking, East London. A young boy had collapsed on Cook Street. When paramedics arrived, they found a young man slumped against a wall outside a block of flats. Lifeless. That young man was Anthony Walgate, 23 years old. A fashion design student from Hull who had moved to London chasing his dream of becoming a menswear designer. He sometimes worked as an escort to pay his bills. Stephen Port had contacted him through sleepyboy.com. He offered Anthony £800 for an overnight stay. Anthony accepted. He arrived at Port's flat. Port gave him a fatal dose of GHB, raped him, then dragged his dead body outside the building and propped him against the wall. He called emergency services himself, claiming he had found the body while returning home. He then went to bed. Police investigated. They found Port had lied. He had hired Anthony as an escort, but detectives accepted Port's revised story that Anthony had self-administered the drug. Port was charged with the minor offense of perverting the course of justice. 6-month sentence, released in 3 months. Ankle monitor fitted. He was free, and he killed again. 25 August 2014, Gabriel Kavari, 22 years old, born in Slovakia. He had moved to London with hopes of becoming a translator for the NHS or the Metropolitan Police. Smart, creative, full of life. His friend John Pape had let him stay in his spare room. Gabriel had only moved into Port's flat as a temporary roommate 2 days earlier. On 25 August, Port administered a fatal dose of GHB and raped Gabriel while he was unconscious. 3 days later, 28 August 2014, a dog walker discovered Gabriel's body propped against the wall of the churchyard at St. Margaret of Antioch, Barking, just a few hundred yards from Port's flat. A bottle of GHB had been placed in his pocket. His mobile phone was missing. Police ruled it an overdose, not suspicious. They did not link it to Anthony Walgate's death 6 weeks earlier. They did not investigate. 20 September 2014. The same dog walker, the same churchyard, another body, Daniel Whitworth, 21 years old, a chef from Kent. He lived with his long-term boyfriend Ricky Walmsley. He and Port had connected on a dating site and met on 18 September 2014. Port killed him the same way. GHB, rape, death. He then dragged Daniel's body to the same churchyard where Gabriel had been found and placed a handwritten note in Daniel's hand. A fake suicide note, written by Port. The note claimed that Daniel had accidentally caused Gabriel's death during a drug session and could not live with the guilt. It was pure fabrication, a calculated attempt to frame a dead man and close the case. Police found the note. They believed it. They still did not connect the 3 deaths. They still did not investigate Port. Port was out there, still on the apps, still hunting. 13 September 2015. Jack Taylor, 25 years old, a forklift driver from Dagenham. He had been out with friends on the evening of the 12th. He went home briefly, then went back out in the early hours of the 13th. He connected with Port on Grindr. They met at Barking railway station. Port took him back to his flat, the same drug, the same horror. On 14 September 2015, Jack's body was found near the ruins of Barking Abbey, close to where the others had been left. Another GHB bottle placed beside him. Port went home, blocked Jack on Grindr, and deleted his account. Jack's sisters refused to accept the verdict of accidental overdose. They pushed. They demanded answers. They forced the police to release CCTV footage from the night of Jack's disappearance. And there, on that footage, was Stephen Port walking with Jack Taylor. The man seen on camera was identified. He was arrested on 15 October 2015. The full picture began to emerge. Forensic investigation, digital evidence, 18 accounts across 12 apps, GHB traces, DNA, the fake suicide note. Everything pointed to one man. The trial began in October 2016 at the Old Bailey, London's Central Criminal Court. On 23 November 2016, Stephen Port was convicted on all counts: 4 murders, 3 rapes, 3 assaults by penetration, 7 counts of administering a substance with intent, and 4 sexual assaults. In total, 11 men were known victims of his crimes. On 25 November 2016, he was sentenced to life imprisonment with a whole life order. He will die in prison. He will never walk free. But the story did not end with the conviction. The Metropolitan Police faced devastating scrutiny. Families of the victims had raised alarms multiple times. Pink News had warned that a serial killer was operating in Barking. The LGBT Independent Advisory Group had told police directly that the deaths were connected. Police dismissed every warning. Crucial witnesses were never questioned. Evidence was barely examined. The fake suicide note was accepted without serious investigation. As of November 2023, 8 former and current police officers were under investigation by the Independent Office for Police Conduct for gross misconduct. 4 families shattered, 4 young men gone, and a killer who could have been stopped after the very first death. 4 phones from app to graveyard. 4 young men who simply wanted love, connection, a warm evening with someone they trusted. They were not reckless. They were human. And the system that was supposed to protect them looked away because of who they were, who they loved, and what their lives were deemed to be worth. Evil does not always come wearing a mask. Sometimes it comes wearing an apron, living quietly in a flat on Cook Street, smiling at neighbors while monsters sleep behind closed doors. Goodbye for now, and I will see you very soon in our next story. Until then, stay safe, stay aware, and never forget crime never wins in the end.